Hi, I had to move from my office to another office, so the call seems a little different. Uh, I want to talk about more psychic stuff that has application in everyday life, and I usually am confronted with it. And there is some literature about near-death experiences, and but more than that, it's all these people that they never want to let go of things that are dead. Or I think there was a show that some producer put together, and she was going around to these older folks, or the mother or fathers of the younger actors, and they would go into their house, and they would look into the stuff they had, like in the kitchen stuff. Probably they're gonna find some things like that, like a real old pot that was looked like hell, but she still use it to cook and treat it like it's some genuine article. Or cars that are well, my car is really crappy. One is a little better than the other one, but uh, people hang on to things that should should have been buried a long time ago. And this kind of extends to other areas. Well, I know people who come around once in a while, and they were affiliated with the old regime of Shah. The one that was overthrown 40 years ago, like 78, 77, 79. If you count the years since then, that's like at least 40 years, and they kind of they have ceremonies, and they come around as if nothing has happened, and they are still in charge in Iran. And well, I could see this with Mr. Pompeo. He comes on in the State Department and like makes a statement. We're gonna sanction any country that does business with Iran. We are in charge. We are a world power, and everybody has to be afraid. And of course, nobody listens to him, and they go right ahead and do any kind of business with each other, including Iran, no matter what this guy is talking about. But well, the Walking Dead, they are everywhere. And sometimes I wish that they would they would really die off, but they seem to be getting sustenance somehow. Well, the last 2 years I've been watching the proceedings of one form or another in the media. I might even go to House Judiciary Committee of Democrats wanting to impeach Trump, and then he comes out and he does a few other things, and they don't seem to go nowhere. But this thing, the show keeps going on, and then goes on with the U.S. stock market that it should have crashed long time ago, like 5 years ago. It should have found its real true value, which is crap. But the companies come on, and they get all these low interest rate loans from the Federal Reserve, and then they go and buy their own stock. The stock price inflates, and then they also buy options. They cash the options, and then sell some more stocks slowly back into the market. So the stock market valuation of many companies, which are really zombie companies, kind of has these sharp drops, and then gradually it inches up and up, and then the whole stock market which is composed of these zombie companies. It just kind of kind of inches up, and it's like same with the Trump presidency. Is reenactment of dead entities, and they come back. And, like, I've had dreams like that, like, see dead people. They come in and they talk about their lives, all the important things they've done, how I played a role in that, so how important it was, and they wish we could come back. Well, I'm afflicted with this problem because I'm a psychic and also a medium, so I'm kind of like see this over and over. But actually, my mother got married after my dad died, and so my stepfather was with her for like a long time, 30 years. So he had gotten cancer, and he had gone to chemotherapy, and it was like his second time, and he was 91 years old. So the last time he came out of chemotherapy, everybody, the hospital and her, they all knew he's gonna die because he would come home after the hospital trips and get really sick, and then had to go back to the hospital and come back again. So it's kind of like tormenting my mom, and she was calling. It's really difficult to take care of people who are very sick or very old too. And she was telling me I know he's going to die, but he's tormenting me, and I have so much care, and constantly I'm running to the hospital, or I've become like a full-time nurse. Uh, what, what do you think? And she was asking me, what are the signs that somebody is going to die? And these are signs that I see everywhere with the U.S. economy, and also with the U.S. civilization of this white minority that is in charge, and is well. There is another researcher. Her name is Kubler Ross. She talks about stages of death, and the last one of the last stages is that I told her when somebody is really about to die, then when you're talking to them, they would sometimes turn their head and talk like they're talking to dead relative. It's also very true because there are ghosts, the spirit ghosts that was related to this person, and they are on the other side, and they are communicating, and they know he's dying, and they are kind of preparing him or preparing the way for this. So there is like, in the conversations you're gonna have with him, you're gonna see this. She said, "Oh, I saw this the other night. He was sleeping and he was dreaming. Then he got up, and he said that all you guys, he was naming his dead relatives. Why are you congregating me?" He went by the door, opened the door, and to get out of here. Anyhow, this is very funny. This is exactly what's happening in the United States. Their politicians, they're going back to eras in their past that they were very important, and all the stuff that they have done, and the same with companies. They have that their valuation, they have pumped it up to stratosphere, and many of these companies, they don't do anything. They are worth nothing, but Well, I was watching Kaiser Report, and they were talking about Uber, and the technician was saying that, well, Uber isn't anything but just an app on Androids, and well, there might be other apps that does this thing. I don't know. But well, talking about dead and zombie companies, uh, many countries they see wealth as stuff that engineers or programmers or 3D printers or their technicians produce or make or can do, and there is a technologically induced deflation in many of these devices or products. There are machines that, there are 3D printers that can print metal parts of the engine, sometimes the entire engine, very cheaply. And many companies that are really viable car making or viable aircraft company or a viable weapon manufacturer, they are using these technologies every day now, and they're making all kinds of stuff, and nobody really knows or cares what many of these zombie American companies are doing, because they really are not producing anything that the world wants or does. And I don't know. Well, one of the things I was seeing, I was talking to my mom. She was saying that because she now lives in Damovan, which is about an hour and a half northern part of Iran, north of Tehran. So she was saying, "Oh my God, they built these roads, unbelievable!" And there was a hill, huge hill that was obstructing this road, and they made this long tunnel. You just It's like a breeze to go from Tehran to Damawan. It's like nothing. And they have made all these roads everywhere. Uh, we don't have any transportation issues like when you remember when you were here. And societies, many places are becoming like that. They are making fantastic devices, fantastic progress economically or technologically. Well, then another thing that happened is that my brother, he has the same problem as me. He has diabetes, and a few years ago I had problems with my eyes, and it's I guess there is too many blood cells or blood veins develop in the eye. Anyhow, there's a malady, but to fix it, you need specialized lasers and specialized chemicals. And from what I remember in Iran, I was wondering, are these guys can produce these things? But he was telling me, no, I went and had several examinations. I'm going for laser therapy, just like I had gone 10 years ago or 8 years ago. And well, we have all these things. I just was very busy because my daughter is getting married. And well, I don't know if you're getting the drift of what I'm trying to say. Is that many companies, many institutions in the United States are really zombie companies, zombie nation, and they're really an enactment of the past. They're not really anything new or anything somebody else might want. I don't know. Well, thank you very much for being my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and leave a comment.